GID.
It should pop up on your email with the address.
Well, I had to look through here, but they kind of run
Okay.
together, so
GID.
that's why I was having,
When you start like a new email or whatever, you gotta type it in.
at Gmail.
Yeah,
yes.
it'll give you a suggestion.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
it just makes my life a whole lot easier when I get ready to,
It's just looking in one spot.
type up the agendas.
No, I just wanted to bring that up since it was, everybody's talking about sending this and sending that, including this, including that, because we can't be doing it that way.
Nope.
Because,
Okay.
and then she can actually send out, like if she gets something from, say, Cody or something, that we all are supposed to, she can send that out in a group email to everybody, but none of us can respond on the group part, we have to respond
And I've
directly.
always done that, not emails so much, I've taken screenshots of emails and sent them in the text, in the group text.
Now
And
that,
if you don't wanna respond, that's fine.
that you can do, but nobody can respond to that. You can send it to that, but nobody can respond
Exactly.
on there. They have to respond directly to you if they want to say
I
something.
believe it's called a walking quorum.
Well, yeah.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
Matt,
I think we're going
Matt
to
and
number
Rick
two.
are gonna work on the cameras and get the I-80 back on there, okay?
Yeah,
and
I will
everything.
put I-80 on.
Yeah, and just
Is-
make sure you copy in the office computer.
So it's okay, I can go ahead and send this to her, and your approval's already there. If she wants to go ahead and start the project, we don't need to come back with another profile.
I don't think we'll
Are
need
you
to.
okay?
I'm okay with
Because
that.
Yeah,
that's just
I-
gonna slow everything down, should it?
No, that's fine. If you email her on this, all you have to do is CC the
Yeah.
office computer
Okay.
email,
And
and I'll get all of it.
Okay.
And just keep me in the loop too, so I can see what's up and
Yeah.
what she needs.
Yeah, so,
You're good.
Yeah.
so do we have a motion for Rick to handle this and get it all,
Rick and Matt.
to all adjusted and back to everybody, or back to the office?
Yes.
I don't know, do we? Do we have a motion? Are you making a motion?
Well, I'm involved with it, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I didn't say anything.
I mean,
You wanna make
okay,
a
I'll motion to approve myself and
Yeah.
Rick, to be the point people with Maggie on the, is it?
Allison.
Allison, excuse
Allison,
me,
yeah.
with the security cameras and the signs with the I-80 well and all the springs and the wells.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
okay. We'll do it.
Okay,
Okay.
and as far as there's nothing to approve or anything like that, I just wanted to let you guys know this lead survey was a hell of a project.
Yes, it was.
It started out with Matt doing all of his water samples, those 8 water samples that he had to take willy-nilly around town. And then Maggie was here for a full day,
At least.
and we were going through every parcel in this town, in our district, not town, in our water district. We went through every parcel to see when the water system was put on that parcel. That gave us kind of an idea of what kind of pipes they had on their property, because they're looking for lead or copper pipes. So we could kind of go, anything installed after 1987 was plastic, because the lead was outlawed in 87. But we went through everything. Matt did a lot of that. He went off with Mary Ann and took her on a tour.
Yep.
She was here also.
Yep.
But, and this is where the spreadsheets and everything came in. From Mary Ann was in the beginning of this survey with every single nut, bolt, screw, everything.
It was quite
On
detailed.
this system has a lifespan, and the state is keeping track of everything. So we know the lifespan of everything. in this system. And it's coming to the end of its life. It's getting dire. So anyways, that's, you know, this isn't just junk that we're saying that, you know, just off the top of our heads. This is stuff that we're learning through working these projects. So then the spreadsheets had to be sent out after I sent out a letter to every customer. It was supposed to go out to every owner of the parcel, but I didn't have addresses for all of them. So I got the addresses for what we had from the county, our billing address, and then some from the tax addresses. And I sent out all these letters. I hand addressed envelopes, stuck stamps, stuffed envelopes. So we got all those letters sent out, and only one of them was returned for an unknown address. So then I sent this spreadsheet with all this information on every parcel in this town, and I sent that to 2 different offices at the state. And it was sent back to me twice to make 1 or 2 corrections on this spreadsheet. And anybody that had an unknown had to have this letter sent out to them. And 3/4, probably better than 3/4 of everybody on that list is unknown. So all of that got completed, and the only thing that we possibly will have to worry about is getting a plan to find out what the water pipes are from the meter to our customers' houses. We know what's to the meter, but we have to have what is on the customer side. So, and the state, we were supposed to come up with an action plan, and we had a year to put this in place. And our action plan, we got really, really lucky with the phase 1 grant, where we're replacing all the meter boxes. That's gonna show us what the pipe is on the other side of that box.
I'm a little confused here.
What's up?
So if this is on someone's private property, why?
The state wanted to know because nobody should have lead. And it's
I don't
easier.
understand that if it's up to.
Lead is
It's
illegal
licensed.
since 1987.
Yeah.
So now let me finish.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's easier for the state to go through us
Oh,
to find out what these
so we're
pipes
playing
are.
police. Oh, I don't go along with this at all.
We're already
This-
done.
I can understand
When
if
am I
they
gonna
want
do
a
it?
replacement, if something breaks, maybe go in with a new
Well, the
system.
state might have been looking at replacing somebody's private lines if they needed
Yeah,
it.
Okay,
if they did, what happens is if they do find lead in the system, so what I had to do, right, was go through 8 different houses, random picked houses,
Uh-huh.
and get a water sample. And every house was different. Sometimes the paper would say, hey, go to this person's house and get a sample from their kitchen sink. This guy over here, you need a sample from the bathroom sink.
Okay.
Or whatever it happens to be, okay? And so from all over the town, and then they take those samples and they look for lead. Now, if, let's say, I took a sample from a park and you got lead pipes in your, going from the meter to your house, chances are some of that would show at the park, okay? And so what they're trying to figure out is basically by the zones in the 8 different places, is there anybody here that still has a house that was they built before 87, that's basically just would maybe possibly have a lead pipe coming from the meter to their house, and maybe in their house as well, because chances are they're getting sick from it. And,
Yeah.
you know,
So-
look at the Romans, they
This
drank out of
come
lead
out
cups
about
and
a
they
year
all
ago.
died.
We've been working on this
It's not
for a
great.
long time,
Yeah.
and Winnemucca's done all the water.
But
It's Nevada State.
we passed
We
there is
did.
no lead in our system, and let
And
me
they
tell you,
can
the
kind of
letters,
pool.
I got probably 40 phone calls from people in town, different
Yeah.
people, going, what the hell does this letter mean? I got lead in my pipes, is that what
I saw it
means?
all
And
over
da-da-da-da-da.
Facebook for Winnemucca too, everybody
My
was
phone didn't
panicking.
stop ringing for literally a week because people were so worried.
But
about
they
it.
kind of pool too,
We
so
got
if
no
we
lead.
have unknowns,
We're good.
if we had unknowns, if
We
he
get
took,
one.
if he took one of these samples of the 8 that he took showed up with lead or copper in it,
Mhm.
then they would look all the way around at other people's properties, cause if this property maybe has lead, then maybe the ones around it were put in about the same time and possibly could, and that's how they kind of eliminate
Yeah.
the properties around that property, but none of ours come back.
Well, that wasn't my
But we
point.
would get more money to fix it.
That's
Yes.
what I wanted to know, is the homeowner gonna have to
No.
eat the cost on this plumbing their house or? plumbing
No,
their-
this was a deal where the state was going to help anybody, everybody.
This was that project that was talked about, it's been several months where they were talking about, did we have any problems with lead with any place out here?
Yeah.
So it's
Okay,
They
no,
had
I'm
a-
all right
They
with
would,
that.
yeah, they
they
would
had a
fix it.
fund or something like
Like the
that, they
mother's,
were,
the money's available test for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
So-
They would
So-
have to
That's
get
what
money
it
to
was
fix
about.
it, essentially, what it is, because, they just give us a bunch of money to repair our system, it's kind of the state's way of covering their own butt.
Well, and they're
You
trying
know?
to help people. It started out with lead was starting to show up where they didn't want it to more, and in surrounding areas. And it was a legislation law that was passed that they wanted to know where this lead was at. So they put it in place where the state got a hold of water departments like us, because that's a good place to start. They can go out and probably check wells out there in the middle of nowhere if you have a well somewhere in an old place. They're probably checking those too. They just want it so nobody has lead.
Yeah.
So anyways, this letter of our plan to identify any unknowns, and most of ours are unknown, which we will correct all of those when we do phase 1 and replace all the meter boxes, and then we're gonna see the pipe that comes off of there, and we'll have an idea. I'm sure there's no lead pipes coming off of any meter in this
Every
town.
single one I've seen thus far has all been
Yeah.
3/4 PVC, so.
Actually, PVC is just as damn bad,
Well,
especially when you
PVC
heat it
doesn't
with
give you
hot water.
seizures.
Well, yeah. it won't
okay,
be-
so anyway, that one, finally, it's been almost a year, huh, Matt?
Yeah.
Right at a
Just
year.
about,
We
yeah.
finally got that one completed.
Okay.
I just got the last day on
you
it.
want to turn some lights on, please?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And then the phase 1,
Sorry, guys.
the phase 1 plan was submitted to the Bureau of Safe Drinking Water for review and approval. So it has, Colton has drawn up his, plans to get that one approved by the state. And we should be getting that soon, and Colton, it goes on to the next one, which is the schedule. I don't remember, did I email all of you guys that schedule?
I have it.
You have it?
Yeah, I have it. I got it.
Okay,
But I
so
may have
what I will do, I'll email this out to you. I thought I got everybody.
It's been the
It
basic.
kinda looks like this, it's when we'll go out
I think I sent that
to,
to you, Rick.
What's
they're gonna look, they're
the
gonna,
heading, what's the head of
it's
it?
the schedule for the valve meter pit replacement and abandonment
Okay.
projects. It's phase 1.
The next
Schedule.
schedule of when it's gonna start and whatever
Okay.
for this next
It
town
shows
project.
when it will be published in the paper, pre-bid, last day of questions, open bids, and I'll email this to you.
One thing I wanted to mention too, and it kind of goes to what I was saying earlier, on that, Cody Black has requested that we have a board meeting on.
Well, that's
I
next.
forget the date.
That's next.
Sorry.
Okay, I do
They
have-
are,
Hold on.
I'll email this to you so that you'll
Okay.
see.
Now, I do have information on I-80 well.
Well, we're getting there too. Let's
Oh, I
finish
thought
up
that's
this
where
one.
we were at right
No.
now. Because it's stall continued. over.
No, we're still on
Oh, we're still on
Um,
schedule one,
Yeah.
phase one.
phase one schedule, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so, phase one, I guess I did put it down here further, sorry, Rick. But while I'm here, and I don't forget, we need to pass a motion to set a date for June
June
Fourth.
4th is what you said.
June 4th. I've got a lot of dates going on in
Was
my
there a
head.
specific time for that?
No, let's set it, we can set a time and I can okay it with Gina,
Okay.
cause she does his scheduling for him. But I would say they're coming here from Reno, we need to do it a little bit earlier in the day, 6 o'clock at night's way too late.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to contact him and ask him what would be good for them?
Yeah.
What time?
I can do that, but let's pass a motion for the 7th,
No, it's the 4th.
Fourth.
the 4th, I'm sorry, I got another thing to do the 7th.
Now, what, is that
June.
May or June?
June.
June.
Okay, we have that down for K. Looks like we're getting ahead of it.
I'm sorry, yeah, I told you I skipped.
Oh,
it.
that's okay. We'll just go ahead and do that.
So, I can ask them, usually they kind of let us set the time. They suggest a day, and we can give them a time. But I would say we're working on their schedule. I wouldn't, every time I've scheduled anything like to walk around up there or anything, it's like 2 o'clock. That gets them out of there, at lunch.
Hey,
And
that's,
down here.
June 4th is a Wednesday.
And,
Just making sure everybody's aware of that.
Okay. Yeah.
so, June 4th, and I will double check with them and let you guys know at 2 p.m.
That sounds good.
That's, works.
Okay, that's my motion.
I'll make a motion that we have a meeting.
Are you
June
gonna
4th.
second it? I made a motion.
She made the motion that we're
I
gonna.
thought you said, did somebody make a motion?
I made a
Then
motion.
I'll second.
Okay. We gonna vote?
Okay, do we have a second on that?
Second. Third.
All in favor?
I.
Okay. And now we can go back up. Sorry, Rick.
That's
I
okay.
didn't mean
No, so
to bump you.
what I did was after this last fiasco with the water board or fire board and all, everybody hollering and screaming, the one thing that they said they wanted was something in writing. So what I did was I emailed Cody with a series of questions. And I don't know, did you guys already get this?
No.
Okay.
I already sent the
Pardon?
I already sent the fire board all that information
What information?
from Cody on the I-80 well.
Oh, well, there's other information in there. I don't know if you have everything. Did he send everything that I sent him?
I
With
don't
these,
know.
with the letters from the fire board? Well, anyway, you guys can read this, because I didn't want to send this to the fire board without your guys' approval. I
Well,
wanted you to go through it and see what you thought.
you haven't sent this to the fire board?
Pardon me?
You haven't sent this?
No.
Okay, so, my deal is, we're spending too much time on the I-80 well. I would suggest that we move, and I've talked to Cody about this, and this is what he is suggesting, so that we can get on to the next pre-application, is to table the I-80 well for now. Circle back, we'll keep investigating it and circle back to it, but there's ways that we can do with phase 4, we can still meet our obligations to fire protection water. That's my biggest thing. After what happened with the spring, that is my biggest thing, is to get fire protection water to the fire department, no matter what.
Yeah.
So we can do that by putting another tank up there, going phase 4 and put that tank up there. Plus, it would be cheaper to go that route than it is to either do the I-80 well or to drop another well. If we drop another well, it's gonna be like easements and all this fun stuff. So we can skip, we won't have to do that. And we can still work on the I-80 well. But with putting the second tank up there is gonna cut our costs of operation, because we'll have the tank, so we won't have to have another chlorination system to maintain like we would on the I-80 well. And we won't have the testing that would have to be required if we put in another well. So financially, as treasurer, I'm just looking at how it's gonna save us money. It's gonna save us money on testing, power bills, chlorine, and everything if we go ahead and move phase 4 up to phase 2.
Yeah.
Because like Cody says, these phases are not written in stone.
Well,
These
phase
are-
4 didn't phase 4 include the second tank also?
That is the
Basically,
second
yeah.
tank.
Basically, that, what she's saying is
Yeah, so-
changing phase 4 for phase 2.
We're just switching.
Just
Right.
switching.
Yes.
But does
And the
that
other
also
thing-
include the pipe coming under the freeway and everything, the
Yes.
second pipe?
Yes.
Yeah.
It will, we will put that in there. We'll have to modify, like, even with phase 2 with the I-80 well, that was gonna have to be modified because the prices are different than when we put this together. So what Cody says, what he thinks would be best for us to do is put that tank in there, and he's ready to go to work as soon as we say let's move phase 4 to phase 2, is put it together to where we can hook everything in to, basically that tank will go over to the old tank, right? If the old tank runs down, the second tank will kick in and.
No, it'll toggle between the two. It'll keep them both, they'll both probably be the same.
But if we have an emergency, we're
Oh.
not gonna have to have a separate line into town.
No.
But that,
Or not?
no, that we were redoing in one of these phases, I think it was phase 3, we were looking at redoing that line that comes under the freeway into town. But that's not part of phase 4.
It's not a different line. It was just a redo of the one.
It was a redo, because remember we were asking, well, how are they gonna do that? I think they were gonna do a redundant line,
Maybe so.
so that we had water in town. Cody had all that
He's
figured
got it
out.
figured out.
The other advantage of putting the tank in before we worry about the well thing is it gives us 2 sources of water, but by the same token, if this tank needs any repairs done on or anything, we've got the other tank already hooked into the system. All they have to do is turn the valve off to this tank
Yep.
so they can work on it
I
and
understand.
go to the other.
Yeah,
Yep.
because the
Yeah,
old
tank.
tank will be coming up for a reline. That's what happened to the tank up on the hill up here. It was up for a reline. I remember that. And they put in for a grant to put that tank in over there, and then they never come back to this one. It was a
Okay.
bigger tank, so I think they thought
But
we
it-
didn't need it.
The reason I brought it up is I guess that line coming under the freeway has failed a couple times. And I was under the impression that what we were gonna do is just have a backup to route it right over into, say, the unused one or the emergency line, so we didn't have a disruption in the community.
Well, that line is gonna be all redone,
Yeah,
and I talked to Cody about that, and he says that we can probably fit that into phase 4 with the new tank,
Mhm.
is to make sure that that line comes